My name is Tori. I'm in 6th grade and my project is liquefaction during earthquakes. Liquefaction occurs when spaces between soil particles are filled with water. Then an earthquake comes and disrupts the water. The water then bubbles up and turns to mud. How are buildings affected by liquefaction during an earthquake? And what substrates are affected the most and least during liquefaction? In this experiment, we will be using a brick to simulate a building during an earthquake. I believe the building will sink in all the substrates. It will sink the most in soil because soil is not too loose and not too compact. The brick will sink the least in gravel. My materials are a round piece of wood, 4 wheels and screws, stick-on Velcro, a clear plastic container with no lid, sand, gravel, soil, a brick with half-inch marks on it, a measuring cup, and water, all seen in this photo. My procedure. First, I made a shaker board. With my dad's help, I attached 4 wheels to the bottom of the wood. I stuck Velcro on the top of the board and the bottom of the container to hold the container in place. I filled the container to the top with sand. I placed the container on top of the shaker board. Then I placed the brick in the container bearing it 1 inch. I added 500 milliliters of water. I let it set for 5 minutes. I shook the board and container for 30 seconds. I noted how far down the brick sank. After observing the sand, I emptied the container and repeated the experiment with gravel and soil. My results are: in the sand, the brick tilted to one side and sank 1 inch. In the gravel, the brick fell outside and sank 2 inches where it originally stood. In the soil, the brick fell outside and sank 1.5 inches from where it originally stood. My conclusion is I found my hypothesis to be only partially correct. The brick did sink in all the substrates, but I was incorrect on the substrates that I thought would be affected the most and least. I thought the soil would be the most affected, but I found it to be the gravel. I thought the gravel would be the least affected, but it was the sand instead. This experiment showed us that buildings can be affected by liquefaction during an earthquake, and some substrates are more affected by liquefaction during an earthquake than others. One possible error in the experiment could have been any moisture that was already in the substrates. This is my project.